The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game has been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, to my left, we have a man that really needs no introduction, for he is known the world over. It's the one, it's the only, it's Pops.
How you guys doing? Welcome to True School Sports, and here we go again, talking some more boxing.
Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. Got an interesting topic coming to you guys live and direct, straight out of the welterweight division. Okay.
Wow.
Now, Mean Machine Kavaliauskas, fresh off of his tough fight with Terrence Crawford, in which I would say might have been Terrence Crawford's toughest fight to date. He lost, got stopped later in the rounds. He's coming back to the ring. They're saying September the 12th, and he's coming back against a name we know, but a name that's not really synonymous with 147. That guy is coming up from 140 to 147. And that guy just so happens to be a guy that we know very well. And that is the young master, Amir Imam. Amir Imam versus Kavaliauskas is in the works for September 12th. What an interesting fight. This is a good fight. I like this fight a lot because when we talk about Amir Imam, this is a guy many years ago. It seems it feels like an eternity now. 5 years ago, 2015, if we could go back in time, this was a guy that was once one of the most highly rated prospects in boxing. This guy was pegged to take over 140 pounds, be a world champion, and even a dominant world champion, depending on who you talk to. That ship has kind of came and went. He's taken some losses to the likes of Adrian Granados, Jose Ramirez, and at most recently Javier Molina. And let's be real, Top Rank is going to use him as an opponent for Kavaliauskas.
So you're telling me from the last fight that you weren't too happy that he was a journeyman.
I didn't say journeyman. I said they use him as an opponent, a gatekeeper. So, but he's what I find interesting is finally, because this is a guy I've seen him here. He's huge for 140 pounds. I don't know how he made it all these years. There's no way he made it all these years and wasn't weight drained. Now he makes the move to 147. So maybe, just maybe, he moves up to 47, and he's bigger, stronger, and can impose some of the strength he does have in the ring, because I've always wanted to see what he can do in 147. I hope it isn't a case of too little, too late.
I mean, I always say change is good, and from the last couple of fights and the last one he had, I'm always pulling for him because I'm a big fan of him. I really like him a lot. The last fight, I was really disappointed at his loss, but guess what? If he made a change and he wants to move up and try something different, it might fit him right. And you know what? I'm still pulling for the young master. So
he's fighting a guy in Kavaliauskas who was a pretty good amateur. Kavaliauskas was a good amateur. This is a guy that's been in there with names we recognize. I mean, if we look at Kavaliauskas, this is a guy that he was an Olympian in 2008 for Lithuania. He's a competent boxer. He's if he's anything else, he's a competent pro. He's one of the better fighters at welterweight. I would say he's definitely a credible top 15, fringe top 10 caliber opponent.
I mean,
we saw him give Terrence Crawford, arguably the best power pound fighter in the world, some problems in spots of that fight.
So I mean, you never know what's going to happen. But for me, I got all my energy. Not to hate on Kavaliauskas, but I got my energy on the young master. I think at some point, I look every time I see him, I look for him to just break it open. And it hasn't happened, and maybe this is the fight that he comes through in the new division. What do you think, PT?
I love Amir Imam. Have for his whole career. Great guy, works hard in the gym. I think this, to me, I feel like we're saying about him. I feel like I'm saying this about him almost every fight now.
Man, we've been saying this, we won.
But I really mean it this time. I really mean it this time. This is a do or die fight for his career. If the last fight was a do or die fight for his career, this one is like, I'm either gonna live or my boxing career is gonna be put on death row.
It's gonna be like a last.
Either I'm gonna live and make something of myself in this boxing game, or my boxing career is gonna be put on the electric chair on death row, and I'll be an opponent for the rest of my days. That's what this fight means for Amir Imam and fighting Kavaliauskas. Now, what are the chances of him winning this fight? Well, I think a good measuring stick we can use for this fight is Kavaliauskas' fight against the tough, rangy, well-experienced boxer Ray Robinson. He fought Ray Robinson on the Joshua Ruiz undercard, and I think it was Joshua Ruiz undercard. Oh no, that was Josh Kelly. I can't remember which card he fought Ray Robinson on, but that was a fight where Kavaliauskas didn't look the best, and some of the same strengths and dimensions, some of the same strengths and dimensions that Robinson has, Imam has going for himself. Robinson's a guy who's long, rangy, a good boxer. Imam is a good, long, rangy boxer, but I would say that what Amir has going for him in his favor that Robinson didn't have going for him in his favor is that Amir Imam, I think, has solid punching power. And I would say, at least for the first 4 to 5 rounds, elite punching power. I haven't really seen that punch power carry into the later rounds, but for the first 4 or 5 rounds, that punch power is elite. Yeah. And it might, and who knows, at welterweight, this happens in boxing sometimes. Sometimes a fighter moves into a weight class, they feel stronger, and they get rejuvenated. So maybe this is the case for him. I'm being optimistic for him.
Is this
here.
the first time he's been at the welterweight? Or has he tried before?
Never been at the welterweight. Wow. I remember after he lost to Jose Ramirez, his ex-trainer, Stacey McKinley, talked about him moving up to 147 back in 2018, but it never happened. He stayed at 140. He tried to, get down to the weight, and it didn't work out for him.
The one thing, BT, I learned from you, when you say something about certain fighters, you've said this about another fighter, one of your favorite fighters is Bernardo's. You always say, when you got a fighter, you see his style, you see what he's been through, you're fit for this weight class, don't move from that weight class.
And not move from it.
So, what I'm getting at is, what I've learned from you is that when you see a fighter like Imam, the young master coming here and making a change to 147, you say there's not a door opening opportunities for him, but don't close it.
Yeah, I really think, look.
Do you think we're more fit for him?
100%. I like just seeing him in some of these fights over the last couple of years. He was sluggish. He didn't look like a guy that was fit to box, strong, intense for 12 rounds. He looked like somebody that would shoot his load early in the fight and really didn't have much in the middle of the later rounds. Now, I'm not saying he's going to come in here and beat Thomas Hitman Hearns or anything like that, but I do think this is a much needed change for him, and he's going to get tested. This is a Kavaliauskas, because we can't make this video all about Amir. This is a Kavaliauskas that fought arguably in many people's eyes the best pound fighter in the world in Terence Crawford, and he gave him some serious problems. Now, we know in boxing that fighters sometimes have the ability to fight up and down to the level of opposition. So Kavaliauskas, I think, I don't think, and there's no slight on him, there's no disrespect to him. I think he's a good welterweight. I think he's a top 10 welterweight. I think if you putting him in there with the right opponents, he might even upset some of the big names in the division. So I think he's a good welterweight. But I don't think he's as good as the guy he showed himself to be in the Crawford fight.
I got you.
I think he's a fighter that fights up and down to the level of his opposition because he did the same thing with Robinson.
Do you what? I mean, we're talking about this fight right now. What weaknesses do you see in Kavaliauskas, whatever his name is, Kavaliauskas, that you see in him that the young master can go ahead and expose?
I can't really talk about any weaknesses because I've seen his fights.
Not much enough, or just enough?
No, I have to go watch more tape to really give you specific weaknesses.
Be honest opinion.
But I'll tell you, based off their strengths, based off both fighters' strengths, what they're good at. I think where Amir is going to have a good advantage above Kavaliauskas is that Amir, he'll have the speed advantage against Kavaliauskas, and I think, I don't remember the Molina fight too well, but I know when he fought Jose Ramirez, I don't think that was I don't think he was more. I don't think he had better hand speed than Jose Ramirez. I don't think his punches got from point A to point B quicker than Jose Ramirez. So I think that's gonna be an advantage for him. But it's up to him to exploit that. He can't. This fight right here for Amir Imam, because look, he has an interesting career. He's beat Dennis Ugas, which is funny to think about. He beat Dennis Ugas.
That's crazy.
Lost to Granados, got stopped to Granados. He lost to Jose Ramirez. He lost to Javier Molina. He's been in there with some of the best in the world, and if he loses this, I mean, he already has this reputation in boxing among some people as a guy that is a great talent. I'm sure he looks great in the gym. I mean, in fact, I won't say I'm sure. I know he looks great in the gym because I've seen him in the gym. He has this reputation of being a guy that can look great in the gym, fights well in the gym, but you put him under the lights, especially in them big fights, and he just doesn't have that same intensity. He hasn't put it together under the lights. And there's a lot of fighters like that in boxing, to where you could say maybe they're gym champions or they're sparring world champions.
It's psychological.
But he hasn't been able to put it together mentally under the lights. So I'm hoping for him that this is the fight that he can do it. I'm not gonna come out and make any prediction because I'm gonna have to go back and watch more Kavaliauskas tape. Yeah. And I have to go back and rewatch that Molina fight. But it's definitely an interesting matchup from Top Rank.
The bottom line is we all know that when opportunity comes knocking, you gotta take advantage of it. What do you think? What weaknesses do you see in Kavaliauskas?
I won't say I am sure. I know he looks great in the gym. I mean, in fact, I won't say I'm sure. I know he looks great in the gym because I've seen him in the gym. He has this reputation of being a guy that can look great in the gym, fights well in the gym, but you put him under the lights, especially in them big fights, and there's a lot of fighters like that in boxing, to where you could say maybe they're gym champions or they're sparring world champions. But he hasn't been able to put it together mentally under the lights. So I'm hoping for him that this is the fight that he can do it. I'm not gonna come out and make any prediction because I'm gonna have to go back and watch more Kavaliauskas tape and I have to go back and rewatch that Molina fight. But it's definitely an interesting matchup from Top Rank.
The bottom line is we all know that when opportunity comes knocking, you gotta take advantage of it. the reality is that the young master's had a lot of opportunities, and how many more he's gonna have? You know what I mean?
I think I'll be honest with you, Pops. I think this is it.
So I think, but if he comes out, now look, on the other side of the coin, if he comes out and can defeat an opponent like a Kavaliauskas, then you can say, okay.
That would revitalize his whole career, because he goes in there and he somehow turns back the clock and becomes Amir Imam in 2015 and knocks this guy out. He's gonna all of a sudden find his name in the running for a Terence Crawford fight.
Let's be honest. You've always said it's not. We were talking about years, and you've always told me that if Amir Imam will get in the ring with Crawford's gonna bounce him.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do that anymore.
No,
I'll be honest. Hey, Amir, I love you. If you see this video, I love you. But like, I'm not sure
but at the
if
same
that's
time,
the case anymore.
At the same time, you also told me that.
But yeah, he does.
From his last interview he had at the new team that he had, that he's in a better place with himself.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, so that's a big plus for Imam. So I look forward to you coming out, rebounding, and doing better this time in this fight, and that's what I want to see from you.
Going back to Kavaliauskas, what would win here for Kavaliauskas? I think a win here for Kavaliauskas would be good, because his name right now, people are his stock. Even though he lost Crawford, his stock went up. You know, he went in there. He fought arguably the best pound fighter in the world. Most people think he dropped Terence Crawford.
Yeah, what's funny about it, not to cut you off real quick, what's funny about it, nobody else wants to step up and knock on Crawford's door.
Yeah. So, look, a win against Amir Imam would be good for him, especially if it's an impressive one, because it's a name people recognize. Amir Imam is a recognizable name in boxing. Amir Imam is going to go in there. Even if Amir Imam is the guy that he's been the last 2 or 3 fights, we know that means that Amir will at least be a tough fighter for the first 4 rounds. Right. So, a win here, I think, be good for the career of Kavaliauskas. And I'll be honest with you, if we're being honest, it's just on paper, right? He lost to Crawford. He got a draw with Ray Robinson. After that, you know, it's very debatable about who Kavaliauskas' best win actually is. You know, you have guys like David Avanesyan, who he beat for an NABF belt. You have guys like Juan Carlos Abregu, who many of us remember when Saddam Ali fought him, and he was a big name. So you could say maybe you could say like a guy like Avanesyan or Abregu. But make no mistake about it, I even think for a guy like Kavaliauskas, even though people will look at him as a favorite and he'll be looked at to be in a better light than Imam, he's never beat anybody as good as Imam. So this to me would be the best win of his career.
Well, I mean, like I said, for him to step in the ring with Crawford when he did fight him was a big step for Kavaliauskas, and now to go ahead and fight a Kavaliauskas fighter like we know the young master is. It's also going to test him, but it's also going to bring his value up also.
100%. So that's what it is. You got Amir Young Master Imam in a, I won't even say sink or swim fight. This is like, you know, either I'm going to have a boxing career or I'm going to be an opponent for the rest of my life. Kind of a fight for Amir Imam. I don't think he's going to get opportunities. So I'm behind him 100%. That's my guy. I'm riding for Amir Imam. Y'all know, if y'all have ever seen any of my videos about Amir Imam, you know I love me some Young Master.
So let's go.
I want this to be the fight where he gets it done. So
let's do this.
Leave your comments down below. Who do you got and why? Love to read those. And like I said in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.